You wake up, stretch, maybe pour yourself a glass of juice or take a light stroll after breakfast. Everything feels fine. You think you're being healthy. But what if I told you one of those daily habits could be quietly weakening your heart every single day? This isn't another scare tactic. In this episode, I'll walk you through 7 everyday habits that seem harmless, even healthy, but are silently damaging your cardiovascular system. And more importantly, I'll show you exactly what to do instead, without forcing you to live like a monk. Stick with me till the end, because I'll also share a simple 3-minute morning routine that doctors rarely talk about. It's not just easy, it might help you detect early signs of heart stress before they turn into something worse. I used to believe that if you stayed active, avoided alcohol, and ate right, your heart would take care of itself. Then I lost my closest friend. His name was David, 72 years old. He lived in Columbus, Ohio, never smoked, didn't drink, walked 2 miles every day, and still read the Wall Street Journal every morning over black coffee. If you met him, you'd say, that guy's got it figured out. Until one morning, he didn't wake up. He had poured his coffee, opened the paper, and then nothing. The autopsy report? Cardiac arrest caused by long-term microvascular inflammation. No heart disease history, no chest pain, just a gradual, invisible buildup from the things he never even questioned. David didn't do anything wrong, but he didn't know the quiet traps, those sneaky habits that chip away at your arteries, elevate cortisol, spike blood sugar, or unbalance your electrolytes. If a guy like David, a man who did everything by the book, could fall into those traps, who's really safe? You deserve to know the full story, not fear, just clarity, because the real threat to your heart may already be part of your daily routine. Have you ever considered that starting your morning with a glass of fruit juice is a healthy choice? If you're nodding right now, you're not alone. Over 80% of seniors I've spoken with believe that a store-bought bottle of 100% natural juice is a smart way to get vitamins, boost immunity, and take care of their heart. Sounds reasonable, doesn't it? But here's what no one's telling you. Most bottled juices are silently exhausting your heart, one sip at a time. The danger lies in blood sugar spikes and concentrated fructose. A typical 12-ounce bottle of pure orange juice can contain as much sugar as 7 teaspoons and 0 fiber to slow it down. When that sugar hits your bloodstream, your heart has to work harder to stabilize your blood pressure and insulin levels. For an aging heart, that sudden pressure is a quiet but powerful shock. You won't feel it. No chest pain, no shortness of breath, but inside, low-grade inflammation, irregular beats, a rise in cortisol, every single morning. And if you're on heart medication or blood pressure pills, it gets worse. High sugar intake may interfere with how effectively your body absorbs these medications, leading to unpredictable fluctuations in your heart rate. I'm not saying you should stop drinking juice entirely, but you need to choose wisely. Eat whole fruits instead. The fiber protects your heart. If you prefer juice, make it at home and dilute it with water. Stay far away from bottles labeled juice cocktail, vitamin enhanced, or natural flavors added. Those are marketing traps hiding refined sugar and artificial additives. So are you still sipping bottled juice every morning? If yes, don't panic, but take a moment to reflect. Sometimes protecting your heart isn't about drastic changes. It's about asking better questions about the things we blindly trust. Did you know your heart runs on its own internal clock? And if you keep breaking it day after day, your heart will eventually fight back, quietly. Most people think getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep is enough. But when you sleep and when you wake up, that's what truly matters for heart health, especially as we age. I used to have a very erratic sleep routine. Some nights I'd be up late watching TV, others I'd wake at 4 a.m., wide awake. I thought my body was used to it. But one night I woke up to the sound of my own heart pounding. Hard, fast. I was drenched in cold sweat. The doctor told me, it's not that you're not sleeping enough. You're just living against your body's natural rhythm. Our bodies follow a 24-hour circadian rhythm, tied to light, hormones, and yes, your heartbeat. Sleeping too late, waking too late, or constantly shifting your sleep schedule, the spikes levels of cortisol, the primary stress hormone. When cortisol rises, your heart beats faster. Blood pressure goes up, blood vessels tighten. This doesn't feel like a heart attack. It's worse, it's slow damage, invisible. Until one day, it's not. If you often find yourself sleeping in, staying up late, or playing catch-up on weekends, it's time to rethink the habit. Aim to sleep before 10:30 p.m. and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Avoid blue light from your phone or TV at least an hour before bed. Try meditating or listening to a calming podcast. I do it every night now. Your heart doesn't need you to change the world. It just needs you to live in sync with its rhythm. So tell me, are you waking up each day in peace or racing through mornings without ever checking in with your own heartbeat? A 74-year-old man suffered a stroke in his own kitchen because of a multivitamin he took every morning. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? But it's true. And if you're taking 2 or more supplements daily, you might unknowingly be walking the same path. Here's what happened. Henry, a retired biochemistry teacher, sharp as ever, meticulous about his diet, read an article claiming vitamin C fights aging. That one article opened the floodgates. Suddenly, mornings started with a lineup of pills, multivitamins, immunity boosters, joint support, herbal sleep aids. None of them was labeled dangerous. Everyone promised to support heart health or boost energy. But that's not how the body works. 3 months later, Henry began feeling dizzy. His heart skipped a beat. He couldn't sleep. His doctor ran tests and found that his electrolytes, specifically sodium and potassium, were wildly off balance. That imbalance? A known trigger for heart arrhythmia and stroke in older adults. How did it happen? Turns out many supplements contain hidden electrolytes, like potassium chloride or sodium ascorbate, under chemical names most people wouldn't recognize. When you mix several supplements without proper medical guidance, your body becomes a chemical experiment, one where a single imbalance can send your heart into chaos. But here's the part no one tells you. Even natural or organic products derived from herbs or plants can be harmful, especially when your body isn't processing things like it used to. That's the twist. What feels safe might be slowly weakening the very organ keeping you alive. So what should you do? If you're taking more than 2 supplements daily, stop now and talk to your doctor. Don't trust a label that says good for your heart until you understand the ingredients. And above all, remember this. Your heart doesn't need more supplements, it needs balance. Let me ask you this. How many pills did you take this morning? And are you sure they're helping you, not silently hurting your heart? Did you know that something you've been doing after every meal, thinking it's healthy, might actually be quietly damaging your heart? A lot of older adults have this one habit, taking a walk right after eating. Sounds like a good idea, right? Walking helps digestion, they say. A little movement is always good. But let me tell you about Irene. She was 67 and lived in a quiet neighborhood in Boston. Every evening after dinner, she'd put on her favorite scarf and head out for her regular walk through the park. She never came back from that walk. Just 10 minutes in, Irene collapsed on the sidewalk. Her heart had stopped. Doctors later explained that it was an acute ischemic stroke, triggered by the body's internal systems being pushed to the brink. After eating, your digestive system demands more blood flow. But if you start walking immediately, your muscles also call for extra blood. That forces your heart into overdrive. It becomes a tug of war, digestion versus movement. And for someone with even mild heart issues, high blood pressure, or pre-diabetes, that strain can be deadly. Irene wasn't obese. She didn't smoke. Her blood pressure was normal. She was doing everything right, but timing, just timing, took her life. The scary part? It didn't feel dangerous. There were no warning signs, because the most dangerous habits are the ones that feel harmless. So if you usually go for a walk right after a meal, please pause for at least 30 minutes first. Let your heart recover. Give your body time to digest. Sip some tea, talk with your spouse, listen to your favorite song. That moment of stillness could save your life. And if anyone ever told you, walk after meals, it's good for your health, share this video with them. You might be saving a heart without even knowing it. Have you ever wondered why your heart suddenly races in the morning? even when you haven't exercised, had any alcohol, or faced a stressful situation? The culprit might be something you do every single day without even thinking about it: drinking coffee on an empty stomach. For many people, especially those over 50, the morning ritual looks like this. Skip breakfast, go straight for a strong black coffee. It feels like a power move, getting energy fast and jumping into the day. But here's the problem. Drinking coffee without eating first spikes your cortisol levels. That's the stress hormone that causes your heart to beat harder, your blood pressure to rise, and your rhythm to shift. In younger folks, that might just mean a bit of jitters or shaky hands. But for someone over 50 or anyone with heart concerns, it can tip the balance and trigger a sudden heart event. Take Linda, 58, who works at a local bakery. She used to skip breakfast and rely on coffee to start her day. One morning while cleaning the counter, she felt lightheaded, broke into a cold sweat, and collapsed. Doctors later said her heart was under stress due to low blood sugar combined with high cortisol from drinking coffee on an empty stomach. Sound familiar? If you're doing the same thing, it doesn't mean you need to give up coffee, but your heart is asking you to pause and fuel up first. Eat a banana, a slice of whole grain toast, even just a few apple slices, or swap that strong brew for a mild herbal tea. Your heart will thank you. Think of your heart like a car parked overnight. You don't slam the gas the moment you turn the key. You warm it up gently. You let the system stabilize. It's the same with your morning routine. If you've ever skipped breakfast and gone straight to coffee, don't feel bad. You're not alone. Most people had no idea. But just because something is common doesn't mean it's safe. And today you get to change that. Not every heart attack comes from bad food, smoking, or high blood pressure. Some come from a place we rarely talk about: unspoken emotions. I once asked an older man at a community center in Michigan, "Have you ever felt sad but kept it all to yourself?" He smiled and said something that stayed with me for years. "Sure, but what's the point of saying it? No one really wants to hear it." That sentence hit me like a punch to the chest, not because it was dramatic, but because it was true. You see, many older adults carry pain silently. They don't want to be a burden. They don't want to worry their kids. They keep smiling, even when their hearts are heavy. But that silence has a cost. Science tells us that repressed emotions raise cortisol levels, the stress hormone. And when cortisol rises, blood vessels tighten, blood pressure increases. The heart has to work harder, beat faster. And if this happens over and over again, the heart eventually burns out, quietly. Have you ever lain awake at night, staring at the ceiling, your heart racing for no clear reason, but you said nothing? Or maybe you've been deeply hurt, but brushed it off, thinking, "I'm old." It doesn't matter anymore. If that sounds familiar, then maybe, just maybe, your heart has been carrying too much, in silence. And the fix? It's not in a pill, it's in release. Write it down. Don't bottle it up. Send a text, call someone, or even just say to your son or daughter, "I'm feeling a little off today. Just wanted to hear your voice." The heart doesn't need you to be tough. It doesn't need you to push through everything alone. It just wants to be heard, to be cared for. If you're still listening to this and something inside you is stirring, don't ignore it. It could be your heart gently asking you to pause and finally listen. There's a painful irony happening every day. Many people are slowly harming their hearts by doing things they believe are saving it. I'm not talking about counterfeit drugs. I'm talking about home remedies, the kind passed around online, in wellness forums, or even by well-meaning friends and family. Raw garlic with honey to cleanse the blood, apple cider vinegar to unclog the arteries, baking soda to detox the liver or lower blood pressure. It sounds logical. It feels natural, harmless. But that feeling? It's a false sense of safety, and it can be deadly. There was a man in Austin, Texas, 68 years old. For 2 straight years, he took garlic soaked in honey every morning. He believed he was protecting his heart. One night, he ended up in the ER with a dangerously high blood pressure spike and a severe reaction caused by an interaction with his heart medication. His doctor explained that certain natural ingredients like garlic can thin the blood too much, interfere with medications, and even trigger irregular heart rhythms. No one thinks something natural could become a hidden threat to their heart. But when we follow remedies just because they're popular, we might be putting our hearts at risk without even knowing it. Are you taking something daily just because a friend swears by it? Or did you see it in a Facebook video? If so, pause for a moment, not because it's necessarily harmful, but because everybody is different. Every heart has its own story. The right answer doesn't come from Google, it doesn't come from your neighbor. It comes from someone who knows you, your medications, your history, your biology. The best remedy isn't the most shared one. It's the one that fits you now and safely. So if you've tried any natural remedy just because someone else did, don't feel bad. You're not alone. But now you have the chance to be more aware and to help your heart, not just with hope, but with real understanding. My friend, the heart doesn't break from big, dramatic events. It weakens from small, repeated things we barely notice. A cup of coffee on an empty stomach, a night of silence, holding back emotions, a homemade remedy we trust without ever checking with our doctor. And one day, it's simply too much. But here's the good news. Just as we unknowingly built those habits, one tiny step at a time, we can start to heal the same way. Today you listened, and that alone is a powerful beginning. You don't need to change the whole world, just change how you care for yourself, with kindness, with awareness. Your heart will feel it, it always does. If any of these 7 habits sounded familiar to you, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Because sometimes what you've been through might just save someone else from something they never saw coming. You're not alone, and your heart deserves better, starting now.